Hello, neighbors. So, Patricia has to conduct another DNA test to prove her identity in part 12 of her story.
Now, you made some headway. You found a mother. You know who the father is because of some persons who came forward. And you were in limbo at some point because your birth certificate said one thing. Now, Kenroy, both of you have the same last names. And the first time I asked you about that last name, you said it was from your adopted family. It was a coincidence for me. I mean, it was like, oh, they're all come to town and have the same. What a coincidence in life. So why did you come to the conclusion that you would be twins? Did you ask Andrew about this?
Well, I asked Andrew if mom did have twins.
But he couldn't give you an answer to something that he didn't know. We also found out that your adopted mother, Josephine Campbell, actually made an attempt to go and look for your mother.
Yes.
Where she was.
It's true.
But the 2 times that she went, your mother was
hiding
in the wind.
The birth certificate
that was brought out?
Yes, it was a girl name on it.
It was a girl's name that was on the birth certificate.
Yes.
Not your name. So we are assuming that that is Patisha's birth certificate. Kenroy Campbell is desperately in need of an identity, and he's brought back Patisha to the show to help him with this mystery. So now that we have that piece of information whereby you were young enough, your brother was taking care of you, you were adopted somewhere between 4 and 6 because we can't pin down the age that you were actually taken over there. And you wouldn't have even remembered that Andrew came to stay because they wanted to adopt him too. But he feels he must be on his own at this age. So he came and spent about 4 to 6 months over there with you. Where was this?
That was in Carisbrook, St. Elizabeth.
In St. Elizabeth. So in the home that you were, you called some names when you were speaking to me. So it would have been the lady, Josephine Campbell. Her husband was?
Her husband was Donald Campbell, but he died.
He died.
Yes.
And then she died.
Yes.
And then you went to live with whom?
Our sister, which is the deacon wife.
Right. And how did you get to Carisbrook in the first place? It was the deacon.
Was the deacon took me there.
Saw you.
Yes.
And figured that you needed some care and protection.
Yes.
By that time, Madam over here was in sweet bliss with her father and mother over there. Where did you grow up, ma'am?
Thornton.
Thornton in St. Elizabeth.
Yes.
When was the first time you heard of Kenneth Campbell?
I think I was around 8, 9 when I started to ask questions.
Did you ever meet him?
Not that I remember.
Did you ever talk to him?
Once.
When?
I think it was in 2009. The lady's granddaughter mother called me and she said that he was there and I spoke with him.
And what was that conversation like?
Well, I asked him about my mother. He didn't know much. I asked him if he knew maybe my mother's sister, cousin. He didn't know any relative at all for her. And basically he just asked me if I was alright and stuff like that. That was it.
What about meeting him? Why didn't you ever meet him?
Honestly, I think I was kind of upset with him because he didn't know much and I wasn't interested at the time. I was going through a phase at the time.
Did he ever tell you how he got separated from you?
No.
Did you take a number from him?
He didn't have a phone at the time.
Oh, he called you from the lady's phone?
Yes.
So Chris made several trips over to Thornton. And how we know that what Chris is saying is a fact is that he was freer to go visit his mother after Kenroy left because he had to always go back to Kenroy because he left Kenroy with cousins of his dad, Frederick Rose, when he went over to visit his mother in Thornton. So he made quite a number of trips over to Thornton. That's how he knows so much about Mr. Campbell. He knows about Mr. Campbell taking him fishing. He knows about looking after her as a little baby and they used to call her a black girl and all that. He knows all that information. Why did Chris keep going over to Thornton? All Chris wanted was for his mother to come back to Breadnut Walk to find all the children and get everybody living back under one roof. He craved for his mother's love. He wanted her to come back. So where does this leave us?
I do not know. we still think it.
Because from all the facts that have come forward, except for that birth certificate at the RGD, there is no twin.
Okay.
So we did a DNA test. What do you think it's going to say? You must think something. What do you think it's going to say, Patisha?
No, we're not doing.
No, you're not twins. So that would make you a what?
Myself?
What would be your name?
Well, I still do not know. Kenroy, you still do not know.
Your mother had by this time gone to live with another man. Who would be your father, sir?
I don't know if it will be Frederick Rose.
You don't know if it would be Frederick Rose. That's the name that you were
Yeah.
given at birth. That's the name most of your other brothers and sisters have,
Yes.
except for that Burke child and this Campbell child here. So you think you're a Rose.
That's what everybody said, so don't know what to do.
Because there was so much tension in that household. Your mother never stayed put. She was always gone off to somewhere, to someone, trying to eke out a living because she was working. We understand that wherever she went, she was working. So I figure that's how she probably met Mr. Campbell, because she was working over there at where? What estate was that?
Appleton Estate.
The Appleton Estate. So she found work, but she found other things too, right? We can assume, because we found Patisha, and it is proven that Patisha is her daughter via DNA test and via the fact that Novlet is also her daughter. So that's how we found out that Patisha is.
Patisha Campbell came to our show to find her parents, especially her mother, Novlet Rose. There is only one way to be sure if Novlet is really Patisha's mother, and that's via a DNA test. Here are the results. The result of the DNA parentage test report from Carigen Caribbean says the alleged mother, Novlet Rose, cannot be excluded as the biological mother of the child, Patisha Campbell. However, the DNA report goes on to say non-matching systems were observed. The locus mismatches could be due to the rare mutational events. Another explanation for the observed genetic results is that the alleged mother, Novlet Rose, is a first-order relative, mother, sister, or daughter of the true biological mother. Given the genetic results, it is more likely that a first-order relative, that's a mother, sister, or daughter, is the true mother of the child, Patisha Campbell, as opposed to Novlet Rose. It means that
I am not.
you are not her mother. Novlet Rose, you are not her mother.
Thank you very much.
The other testing that they did says that the probability of half siblings is 99.97%, which means that
She's my sister.
she is your sister. She is not your mother. And we know you so really wanted her to be your mother.
Because
And you believe this since
2005.
Right. So she's not your mother. And Christopher has been vindicated. Christopher knew all along. Kenroy knew. But Novlet in her heart also knew that she couldn't be your mother, because at 17 she was still living with her aunt Bernice in Old Harbour, weren't you?
Yes.
And you had your first child at?
20.
And he was a?
Boy.
A boy. So, Patisha, meet your sister now that Rose. It leaves us to assume that your mother is.
Rose.
And while we're assuming based on the birth certificates, evidence of the DNA, we also have persons who saw Eulalie Rose pregnant with you, Patisha Campbell. You were delivered in Breadnut Walk by your mother.
So how you come about? This is a big mystery right here, right now. We want to know.
Yes, I want to know.
Ready for the DNA results? What you say it's going to prove again?
Not twin.
So you, Patisha Campbell, daughter of Kenneth Campbell and Eulalie Salmon or Rose. And you are? Kenroy Campbell, son of? Son of?
Son of Frederick Rose.
And?
Eulalie Salmon.
Yeah, and Eulalie Salmon.
Yes.
And Eulalie Salmon Rose. You have your one name too. So you ready for the results?
Sure.
So we went to Carrigan, yes?
Yes.
You had fun?
Sure.
Always have fun at that place, eh? Because you go there how much time now?
Twice.
Yeah, twice. But the last time you did 2 different DNA tests. Mm. So, of course, we might not still figure out who you are. So your story probably just starts. Lord, please help us. Next, the results are as follows. Sibling test to prove whether you are, in fact, brother and sister.
Thanks for watching The Susan Show. See you next time.
Please like, subscribe, turn on post notification to see videos as soon as they're uploaded.